Hello and welcome to Casual Learning. I'm your host, John Bannon. The video today is going to be a review of Chapter 9 of my newest book, God and Our Superdeterministic Universe, the number one argument for the existence of God, which is available on Amazon Kindle. Chapter 9 is entitled Death to Deism. Now, deism is the belief in the existence of a supreme being, specifically of a creator who does not intervene in the universe. So essentially, the universe is a set it and forget it universe. God creates it and then leaves it to run on its own through its own metaphysical laws of physics. Deism is a natural religion that accepts that a certain body of religious knowledge is inborn in human beings, and that every person can access this inborn religious knowledge through reason. Deism rejects the idea that God intervenes in the universe, and so deism rejects any sort of divine intervention or revelation, such as priests, prophets, and the church. An example of a modern deist religious sect would be Christian Unitarians. The deist position hinges on the premise that God created the universe, but the laws of physics keep it going with no further intervention by God. However, superdeterminism, and specifically Dr. Hanson's proof of superdeterminism, disproves deism. Deism is false. Dr. Hanson proved that temporal causation or continuous causation in physics is not real, and therefore there can't be a ontologically real metaphysical continuous causative force of nature that we call the laws of physics. The laws of physics are merely a mathematical description of the behavior of physical reality, which has been predetermined. It's not an actual ontologically real continuous causative force of nature. The present moment of time is not created from the immediately preceding moment of time, and the future moment of time is not created by the present moment of time. This is Dr. Hanson's proof. So this completely undermines deism. It falsifies deism. First, because temporal causation is not real, then there is no ontologically real metaphysical continuous causative force of nature or laws of physics that can keep the universe going while God apparently abandons it. Second, timeless physical reality, such as hyperplanes of space-time, do not need to be conserved in time. Thus, one does not need a continuous causative metaphysical force of nature in order to conserve physical reality, because physical reality does not need to be conserved. Because timeless physical reality does not need to be conserved in time, it does not need to be made of anything solid to keep it existing. So, hyperplanes are timeless physical realities. They do not exist in time. Therefore, they do not need to be conserved in time because they're timeless. And because they're timeless and they do not need to be conserved, they don't need to be made of anything physically solid in order to keep them in existence. So this is perfectly in line with the idea that God creates physical reality from non-existence, because non-existence has nothing solid about it. So the idea that physical reality can be created from non-existence is perfectly understandable when you realize that physical reality doesn't need to be solid in any sense of the word in order to be real. Hyperplanes of space-time do not need to be made of anything physical because there is literally no time to disturb them. They're timeless physical realities. You can't disturb a timeless thing, physically speaking, because there's no time in which you can disturb it. Hyperplanes do not need to be made of pre-existing materials because they're timeless. There's no time to create them out of pre-existing physical materials. That which is not physically made is not made of anything physical. So, timeless abutting hyperplanes of physical reality are not physically made. Therefore, they do not need to be made of anything physical. They can be from non existence itself. Third, God has predetermined the universe, which means God has predetermined even the smallest details of everything that happens in the universe. This is just the opposite of deism. So God is intimately involved in absolutely everything that happens in the universe. God doesn't just abandon the universe to be run by laws of physics. God predetermines the universe and every detail of the universe. So everything that happens has God's finger in it. And there are no ontologically real metaphysical laws of physics that run the universe. It's a static block reality without temporal causation. So deism fundamentally has the wrong concept of physical reality. It's just completely wrong. God does not need to intervene in his predetermined plan for the universe because he's God. His predetermined plan was error free from the beginning. There's no need to intervene in that which has no errors that need to be fixed. And God, in predetermining this static block reality, has also predetermined the existence of miracles and spiritual experiences. Miracles, again, are only highly improbable but logically possible events. Miracles can absolutely be predetermined to occur in the universe by God. So, superdeterminism fully supports the idea of God's involvement in the lives of human beings in a predetermined fashion, which disproves the deist notion to the contrary. So, God has predetermined the existence of priests, prophets, and his church into the predetermined plan of the universe. Superdeterminism also defeats pandeism. Pandeism holds that through the act of creation, God becomes the universe. However, under superdeterminism, Dr. Hansen proved that the laws of physics are not ontologically real. So there is no metaphysical continuous causative force of nature in the universe. Therefore, there is nothing in the universe that one could equate with God to say that God has become part of the universe. There is no continuous causative force of nature, which you could say, aha, there's God. He's become part of the universe. So superdeterminism disproves pantheism. Superdeterminism also disproves panentheism. Panentheism is a belief that God is present in the universe while being greater than it. Again, because Dr. Hansen proved that temporal causation is not real, then there can't be this ontologically metaphysical continuous causative force of nature, which you could somehow equate with God, God's creative force. Therefore, God cannot be in the universe. And therefore, panentheism has to be wrong. Under deism, the idea of natural religion opens the door to non-Christian religious figures as authority figures on this natural religion, such as Buddha. But deism is false. So claiming that other religious figures, non-Christian religious figures, or religious figures that have nothing to do with the Abrahamic God of the Bible, know something about this natural religion is false. It's false. And because Christianity has 2.6 billion followers in the world, Christianity predominates among world religions. Now, in a predetermined, superdeterministic universe, one would expect that God's expression of his will for humanity would predominate. And that's exactly what Christianity is. So, under superdeterminism, there's every reason to believe that Christianity, and specifically Jesus on earth, was expressing the actual intended message of God for humanity. Now, Buddhism, by comparison, only has 400 million members worldwide. And Hinduism has 1 billion. But Christianity has 2.6 billion. So Christianity predominates and is much larger than Buddhism or Hinduism. And on top of that, Islam has 1.9 billion followers. And in Islam, Jesus is the second most important prophet. So Islam it has so many followers because it's got Jesus in it. So if you include the number of Muslims in the world to the number of Christians, all influenced by the message of Jesus, that's 4.5 billion followers. That's more than half the world's population. And clearly the predominant religious belief about the expression of God's will for humanity. In a predetermined universe, the winner clearly is Jesus as God's mouthpiece for the will of God to humanity. There's no doubt about it. It's not even close. All right, so I hope you enjoyed that. My next video will be a review of chapter 10 of my book, Say Farewell to Nihilism. All right, everybody, take care.